Hare Krishna, everyone. Hope you're well. Let's make a start on chapter 6 today. And we'll sing Radha Madhav now. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jayo Giravardhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jayo Giravardhari, Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Gyantimridasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthaktam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnacha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajim Sadhvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakharmitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranmami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpato Briyascha Kirpa Sindhube Vacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasdi Gaur Bhakt Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Om Tassat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham kroti vachalam pangum langyate garim yat kirpatam vande Shri Gurundin taranam Paramananda madhanam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tassat. Narayam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim sasvit vyasam tato jema udiriyat nashta preshu abdureshu nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā. Bhagavati uttam shlok hai Bhakti Bhavati Neshtikhi. Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's start with the shloka 1. Sutta Vacha Evam Nishamya Bhagwan Devrishi Janma Karmacha Bhuya Paprach Tam Brahman Vyasa Satyavati Sutta So Sutta Uvacha, Sutta said, Evam thus Nishamya, hearing Bhagavan, the powerful incarnation God, Dev Rishi of the great sage among the gods, or Rishi, Dev Rishi. Janama, birth, karma, work, Bhuya, again, Praprach, asked, Tam, him, Brahman, O Brahmans, Vyasa, Vyasadev, Satyavati, Sutta, the son of Satyavati. So Sutta said, O Brahmans, thus hearing all about Sri Narad birth and activities, Vyasadev, the incarnation of God and son of Satyavati, inquired as follows. So Sri Narad, he has been telling Vyasadev about his life in the material world, and as the son of a maid servant, and Vyasadeva has been listening to his guru telling about himself. Vyasadeva was further inquisitive to know about the perfection of Naradji, and therefore he wanted to know about him more and more. So he said Naradji, perfection of Naradji. Now it's become like very intimate name, because Naradji has been telling him about his, they're like friends and now all the guru and disciple, but there's more bonding now because Narad Muni has told him about his previous life, his confidential information, and therefore he wanted to know more and about him more and more. In this chapter, Naradji will describe how he was able to have a brief audience with the Lord while he was absorbed in the transcendental thought of separation from the Lord, and when it was very painful for him at that time. So I think we'll go on to the next one. We'll talk about then together. So Vyasavacha Bhikshubhir Vipra Vasite Vigyan Deshtrabistav Vartamano Vyayasi Ade Tatha Kem Akarod Bhavan. So Vyasa Vacha, Shri Vyasadeva said, Bhikshubhi, by the great mendicants, Vipra Vasite, having departed from other places, Vigyan, scientific knowledge in transcendence, Adestrabihi, those who had instructed, Tav of your Vartamana, present, Vayasi, of the duration of life, Adya, before the beginning of, and Tatha, after that, Kimvat Akarot, did, Bhavan, your good self. So Shri Vyasadeva said, what did you do after the departure of the great sages who had instructed you in scientific transcendental knowledge before the beginning of your present birth? So Vyasadeva is very curious that how a son of a maid servant, in his childhood, his mother passes away. What did he do? Once the sages were gone. So Vyasdev himself was a disciple of Naradji, and therefore it was natural to be anxious to hear what Narad did after initiation from the spiritual masters. He wanted to follow Narad's footsteps in order to attain to the same perfect stage of life. This desire to inquire from the spiritual master is an essential factor to the progressive path. This process is technically known as Sad Dharma Prishya. So Vyasadeva is curious. So Srila Prabhupada says that in so many ways, one can remember Krishna always. Somebody in chanting, that's all right, but why the net? So initiation is mentioned here. So not after initiation from the spiritual master. So why did they initiate him? The sages, why did they initiate Vyasadeva? But why the Narad Muni? But why the necessity for initiation? So now we can find out why is initiation necessary. Initiation means the disciple agrees to accept the instruction of the spiritual master, and Krishna accepts the disciple immediately to give him a spiritual body. So this is very interesting, that once you accept a spiritual master and your spiritual master accepts you, then Krishna also accepts you, and he accepts you to give you a spiritual body. This is the process, otherwise there is no need for initiation. It's a connection to the disciplic succession. So just showing the importance of initiation, that why we need, that's the only way we can connect with the disciplic succession all the way up to Krishna. So if you make that connection, then you need to make the connection, you need to be initiated. That's the reason for initiation. So it's a very important process, and so something to think about. So it says further that at a time of initiation, a devotee gives up all his material conceptions, at least in theory anyway. Therefore, being in touch with the Supreme Person of Godhead, he is situated on the transcendental platform. So real initiation is the determination to follow seriously this Krishna conscious process. Otherwise, it's just a formality. So, how serious we take it. Are we just doing a formality, or are we really understanding the meaning behind initiation? Not that you take initiation and then disappear. Yes, that can happen. Or sometimes once, you're doing a lot of services, and once you get initiated, people don't see you anymore. You don't do the services. Now that you're initiated, you don't need to please anyone or prove anything. Just initiated. That's it. I've got initiation now, and that nobody can take that away from me. And you reduce your services. Okay, and follow seriously the Krishna conscious process. Otherwise, it's just a formality. Not that you take initiation then disappear. Chant and serve in relation to Krishna. Follow the instructions of the spiritual master. So if you have taken on a spiritual master, then follow his instructions as well. Otherwise, what's the point of a spiritual master? The sacrifice that takes place at the time of initiation, they put bananas in the yajna, is the false ego of the disciple. So we don't eat that, or the food can be taken. So they put bananas in the yajna and they burn them. So that is burning of the false ego. Srila Prabhupada explains that's what's being done. Yeah, so now we know a bit more about initiation. And even Nag Muni was initiated by the sages, and he's blessed because he had so many spiritual master Diksha Gurus together. So Swayam Bhuva Kaya Britya Vrititam Te Parambaya Katham Chedam Udasrakshihi Kale Prapte Kalevaram. So Swayam Bhuva, or son of Brahma, Kaya, under what condition? Britya, occupation, Vartitam was spent. You param, after initiation, vyaha, duration of life, katham, how, cha, and idam, this, udasrakshi, did you quit, kale, in due course, prapte, having attained, kalevram, body. So, O son of Brahma, how did you pass your life after initiation, and how did you attain this body, having quit your old one in due course? So, Vyasadeva is inquiring more and more. So what happened after initiation? Śrīmad Muni in his previous life was just an ordinary maidservant's son. So how he became so perfectly transformed in the spiritual body of eternal life, bliss and knowledge is certainly important. Srila Vyasadeva desired him to disclose the facts for everyone's satisfaction, because we all get initiated, but we haven't, or unlikely or very difficult to reach that level, can follow in the footsteps of Narad Muni, but can we, reach that level? I don't know. So, Srila Prabhupada explains that if I am an eternal servant of Krishna, which we are, then I must develop the desire to serve the Lord and to see the Master. there has to be a change of heart, that transformation. If I'm not feeling closer, then what am I doing wrong? So we must have some hunger, some greed to see Krishna, to serve him, and is eternal service. When we're chanting, we're asking for service, we should mean it in that we really want that service. And if that's not happening, then we have to analyze where are we going wrong. So plot is thickening. Prakalpa vishyam etam smritim te muni sattama nahi esha vyavadat kal esha sarva nirakritihi. So prior kalpa, the duration of Brahma's day, vyashyam, subject matter, etam, all these, smritim, remembrance, te yo muni satam, O great sage, not he, certainly, esha, all these, vyavadat, made any difference, kalha, course of time, esha, all these, sarva, all, nirakitihi, annihilation. O great sage, time annihilates everything in due course. So say annihilate, sometimes we say devours. So how is it that the subject matter which happened prior to this day of Brahma is still fresh in your memory, undisturbed by time? So yeah, it's interesting that he remembers all this, and I think it was like this actually happened, like he says here, which happened prior to this day of Brahma. Is like a day of Brahma before that, and a day of Brahma is like 4.32 billion years, and plus 4.32 billion years is the night. So 8.64 billion years ago, or plus that, it didn't necessarily happen on the last day of the day. So how is it that he remembers something that happened billions and billions of years ago? So as spirit is not annihilated even after the annihilation of the material body, so also spiritual consciousness is not annihilated. She not developed his spiritual consciousness even when he had this material body in the previous kalpa. Consciousness of the material body means spiritual consciousness expressed through the medium of a material body. This consciousness is inferior, destructible, and perverted, but super consciousness of the supra mind in the spiritual plane is as good as the spirit soul and is never annihilated. That's interesting. So super consciousness of the supra mind, so that remembers everything. So Nard Muni could remember his previous life, and Prabhupada also gives example of Jendra remembered the prayers from his previous life. So whatever we practice in KC is never lost. And even Maharaj Chitraketu, when he became a demon, he could remember his previous, at least the knowledge he remembered, which he was telling Indra, and Indra couldn't believe that this demon can, he's a devotee of the Lord. If you have mundane consciousness, it will be attracted to mundane material things, for example, mundane music. But when you have super consciousness, this is how you can measure our own consciousness, by how and with what we connect with. What resonates with me in the material world will dictate the frequency of my consciousness. So that's like one way. So according to Nard Muni, it's possible to have a spiritual consciousness while in a material body. I mean, after all, we are spiritual, right? So we can have a spiritual Atma in a material body, then why not the consciousness will also should be spiritual, because that the consciousness is connected with the spirit soul. And so if you remember that, then we can test ourselves that what is my real interest, what do I like to watch, what do I like to listen to, what kind of things do I like to say. So like that, what is my, because whatever we watch and listen to, what we enjoy, it depends on our consciousness, what really makes us tick, and what gets us, what gives us thrills, what gets us excited. And if it's material things, then we know that our consciousness is still material. And if it's spiritual things, Krishna Katha, blissful Kirtan, like that, then we know that our mentality, our consciousness is being spiritualized when you start enjoying that kind of thing. Okay. So 5. Nardavacha Bhikshubhi Vipravasite Vigyana Dishtabhi Mama Vartmano Vyayasi Adye Tat Etad Aksharam Akarasham. So this verse, I think, is very similar to one we just did earlier. So Nardavacha Shina said, Bhikshubhi, by the great sages, Vipravasite, having departed from other places, Vigyan, scientific spiritual knowledge, Adastarabhihi, those imparted unto me, mine, Vartmanaha, present, Vesi Adye, before this life, Tatha, thereafter, Etat, this much, Akarasham, performed. She now said, the great sages who had imparted scientific knowledge of transcendence to me departed for the places, and I had to pass my life in this way. So in his previous life, when Narji was impregnated with spiritual knowledge, by the grace of the great sages, there was a tangible change in his life. Although he was only a boy of 5 years, imagine being initiated at age of 5. That is an important symptom visible after initiation by the bona fide spiritual master. Actual association of devotees brings about a quick change in life or spiritual realization. How it so acted upon the previous life of Srinath Muni is described by and by in this chapter. So that's 5. Ektamja me janani yoshin mura sakin kari may atamje ananya gatau chakre sneha nubandanam. So Eka Atam Ja, having only one son, may my Janani, mother, Yoshit, woman by class, Muda, foolish, Cha, and Kinkari, maid servant, may unto me, Atam J, being her offspring, Ananya Gatau, one who has no alternative for protection, Chakra did it, Sneha Anubandhanam, tied by affectionate bondage. So I was the only son of my mother, who was not only a simple woman, but a maid servant as well. Since I was her only offspring, she had no other alternative for protection. She bound me with the tie of affection. So they only had each other, in other words, and they relied on each other for support. His mother had a lot of affection for the son had a lot of affection for the mother, and because there really wasn't anybody else, any other family for them. Jasvatantra na kalpasid yoga shemam mamechati ishasya hi vasheloko yosha darumai yatha. Sashi Asvantantra was dependent, not kalpa, able, asit was yoga shemam, maintenance. Mama, my ichati, although desirous, ishasya, of providence, he for vashe, under the control of lokha, everyone, yosha, doll, daru, mai, made of wood, yatha, as much as. She wanted to look after my maintenance properly, but because she was not independent, because she was a servant, So she was not able to do anything for me. The world is under the full control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, everyone's like a wooden doll in the hands of a puppet master. So, we all been controlled by someone or other. We're not independent, whereas the Lord is independent. We are all puppets, and it's better if we consider ourselves puppets of the Lord, because then, you are like surrendered, and then Lord controls your life and He guides you in your life. But if you think, oh, I'm the doer, I'm the controller, then the Lord says, okay, then you control and you do, and see where that gets you, and then come back to me when you're ready. So aham chatat brahmakule ushvi samtad upakshaya digdesha kalavyutpano balakah panch hayanaha. Aham, I cha also that brahmakule, in the school of the Brahmanas, Ushivan lived, tat her upeksha, being independent, no, desha, direction and country, kal, time, abhyutpanha, having no experience, balakaha, a mere child, panch, 5, and hayanaha, years old. So when I was mere child of 5 years, I lived in a Brahmana school. I was dependent on my mother's affection, had no experience of different land. So he's only 5 years old. He's never been anywhere. He only knows the area, the surrounding area where he lives. Ekda nigratam gehat duhantim nishi gam pathi sarpo dashat pada sprishtha karpanam kal joditaha. Ekda, once upon a time, nigratam, having gone away, gehat, from home, duhintim, for milking, nishi, at night, gam, the cow, pati, on the path, sarpa, snake. So we come into that point now. Adishat, bitten, pada, on the legs, prishtha, thus struck, karpanam, the poor woman, kal, joditha, influenced by the supreme time. So it was arranged for his mother, because they were like, there's a lot of affection, they were so attached to each other, but obviously the Supreme had other plans for Narad Muni. Once upon a time, my poor mother, when going out one night to milk a cow, was bitten on the leg by a serpent influenced by Supreme Time. So his mother was killed. So it says here, Srila Prabhupada explained that he didn't have this, but although his mother, she was bitten by a snake and she passed away, Narad Muni, he didn't have this blame consciousness. He could have just gone crazy, because that's all he had in life. He could have blamed God that, this is all I had, and you couldn't even, let me have that. And why have you taken my mother away from me? What is now left in my life? I got no money and no relatives, nobody to protect me, look after me. But now, Narad Muni didn't think like that. He didn't have this blame consciousness or looking for sympathy when his mother passed away from a snake bite. We can see everything from material perspective or spiritual perspective. So this is the ultimate, isn't it? That you only have your mother, and then if she leaves you as well, and that is the real test. But then if you are thinking from a spiritual perspective, then anything that happens, you can deal with it. If you think of material perspective, then little things, you get a traffic ticket or something, you'll go mad. Why? I was only gone for 10 minutes, and this person put a ticket on me. Little things like that, you just get wound up, you boil over. But when it's spiritual perspective, then nothing is bigger. Now he was completely at the mercy of the Lord. Krishna reciprocates in two ways. One by taking away everything, and other by giving. So when he takes away something, then he also gives something in return as well. That is guaranteed. In India, Krishna took everything away from Srila Prabhupada, destroyed all his plans. Then Krishna gave him so much, gave him everything. He saw both in a spiritual way. So that's the real test. Prahlad Maharaj was severely tested. Bali Maharaj was tested. Even his spiritual master cursed him. Srila Prabhupada, when he came to West, he was alone for 1 year. So Krishna was watching him. How does it affect him? How does he behave? He didn't even have an umbrella. He used a plastic sheet to cover from the rain, but he did not give up. So that is faith. It's mentioned that is faith. If you have chosen a path to serve Krishna, you continue on it despite the impediments. Even if there are severe tests, we carry on with determination. Never give up following the orders of the spiritual master. This is the advice by Srila Prabhupada, that never give up. There will be tests, but you just pray that please don't test me so much that I end up giving up service, or I'm not able to do your service. Don't give me a test like that. Otherwise, this is Dukhyālam Shashvatam. Dukhya, the misery is a place of misery. Misery will come from time to time, but you pray that misery does not affect my service, which is our constitutional position. We should not be moved from our constitutional position, no matter what is thrown at us. And things will get thrown at us from time to time. Where there's flowers coming down, the pot will also come down on your head. So that is going to happen. It's not a problem. So last one. So once upon a time, a poor mother, I think we've done that. This way I saw it. So this is the way of dragging a sincere soul nearer to God. The poor boy was being looked after only by his affectionate mother, and yet the mother was taken from the world by the supreme will in order to put him completely at the mercy of the Lord, as we've said. So just read this verse now. Tada tad aham ishasya bhaktanam sham abhipasataha anugraham manya manha pratistham disham uttaram. So tada, at that time, that aham, I, ishasya, of the Lord, bhaktanam, of the devotees, sham, mercy, abhipasataha, desiring, anugraham, special benediction, manya manha, thinking in that way, pratistham, departed, disham uttaram, in the northern direction. So he's a 5-year-old, but he's a clever lad, and he made some plans. He did some thinking, and he made some decisions. So I took this as the special mercy of the Lord. This is a 5-year-old saying. I took this as the special mercy of the Lord, who always desires benedictions for his devotees. And so thinking, I started for the north. So he ran away, basically. Otherwise, the person, who was the boss of his mother, he could have misused him. Confidential devotee of the Lord see in every step a benedictory direction of the Lord. What is considered to be an odd or difficult moment in the mundane sense is accepted as special mercy of the Lord. That's one thing I need to remember, we all need to remember, because we panic in situations. So difficult moment in the mundane sense is accepted as a special mercy of the Lord. Mundane prosperity is a kind of material fever, and by the grace of the Lord, the temperature of this material fever is gradually diminished, and spiritual health is obtained step by step. Mundane people misunderstand it. So says that Krishna never desires. So once you have become a devotee, especially if you're a devotee of the Lord, you listen to katha, you're chanting, you're serving the Lord, he never desires anything unbeneficial for his devotees. That is also a guarantee. When reversals come, our real consciousness comes out, which we know. Accept instead of expect. So don't say, oh, I was expecting this, so this was supposed to happen. Accept it. Don't expect your own, own desires. Just accept the, man proposes and God disposes. So he is disposed whatever your proposal was, and he's given you his proposal. So go with that. Be ready for Krishna's mood swings, he says here. So you don't know. Krishna is tricky. What he has in store for you. We might make a 20, 30-year plan here, right? So I'll do this and I'll get to this position, then I'll start doing this and I'll do that. But Krishna can have a mood swing and and completely change that, and we should be ready for that. So maturity is when we accept reversals as mercy of the Lord. Maturity is when we are able to act appropriately in difficult situations, as we discussed. So, very interesting. Be ready for Krishna's mood swings. So Krishna can have mood swings as well, and he can completely change your life. And I guess he had a mood swing, and now we are in Krishna consciousness. We might have had so many plans for our material life, and short-term plans, medium-term plans, long-term plans. We make so many plans, and next thing you know, you're planning to go to temple, and you're planning to give up so many things, and you're planning to start chanting. Where did that all come from? No idea. Never planned it earlier. Suddenly, how come these plans have appeared out of nowhere? Because Krishna's planned it for us, and he's helped us through his devotees. And Krishna is equal to everyone. So his devotees sometimes, I still say some divine intervention that is due to some maybe sukriti or something. You meet the right people, and you start, something clicks at that time, and you start following them. Otherwise, you could live all your life, and you just don't have the purification to follow Krishna consciousness or spirituality, because you think you know better, and even after hearing, nothing registers. So that's then you just come back and start all over again, and you hope that wherever you left off, you can start and build from that. So thank you all so much, and like to hear from yourselves. We'll start with Swashi Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Well, when Narad Muni was telling his previous life story, I think Deva was very interested, and he inquired from Narad Muni, how that he got perfection of life, and he wanted to find out everything about it, about hearing from Narad Muni. Then Narad Muni he told his story of previous birth, that about how he met the sages, and he followed the footsteps of the sages by hearing attentively Hari Katha and serving the Brahmanas and having the remnants, and how his mother departed from this world. And so we should follow the first footsteps of Narad Muni and associate with our spiritual masters, Indian Vaishnavas, and even if I say without Krishna is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad-Gita, and that when we read that means we have association of Krishna from Bhagavad-Gita. So if we can't have any then without that, from the we can have association and learn about the devotees. Bhagavatam is full of devotees and Lord Krishna. Narad Muni could remember his previous life. We can't remember anything because he had spiritual consciousness, and if spiritual consciousness is eternal. You never forget. So he remembered everything what happened. And because we've got material body, our consciousness is pure, but it's contaminated with our material body. And what we can purify our consciousness by devotional service, by the association of the devotees. There's so many ways. In our previous life, in our life, sometimes something bad happens, something good happens, and we get very stressed out when bad things happen. We're very happy, and when something happens nice. So a pure devotee always thinks it's the desire and the mercy of Krishna, and they don't get disturbed. But we are human beings. We get disturbed when something happens nice. We're very happy. Something goes wrong, we're not happy. And example, we have seen the example of in Prabhupada's life. Prabhupada, he wrote Bhagavatam script, and he wanted to give it to be published. But his wife sold his script and for some tea. And because of that, he was not very happy, but it was the desire of Krishna, mercy of Krishna, and he left his home, his grahast home, and then he became a Krishna master, Jagat Guru. He is not only for India, but all over the world. So it was the mercy of Krishna. What he wants, we have to accept it. And then it was the mercy of, it was, now it is very straight for Narad Muni, but it was mercy of Krishna that Narad Muni mother was bitten by a snake. So he can seek for Lord Krishna's spiritual life. So whatever happens, we must accept it in our life. And we always should please the desire of Krishna, not our desire. I know it's easy to say, but it's very hard to do it. But we can try, and we all try to. The main thing is to please Krishna. If Krishna is pleased, we are pleased. If Krishna is not pleased, and then we are not pleased. So, and if Krishna is pleased, he has mercy on you. His desires are always good, always good. Sometimes it might not be nice for us, but it's good. So we learned a lot of lessons from Narad Muni, his previous life, and what happens to him. And then Vyasadeva, he started writing Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. I was just thinking that if Narad Muni remembered his previous life, then he probably remembered his mother and her affection as well. And I don't know how we felt about that, but yeah. So sometimes to remember, but then it can be maybe some painful as well to remember previous. Obviously, we don't want to remember our previous lives because that would be very painful. So thank you so much, Mataji. I'm going to ask Hina Mataji because I know sometimes she has to go. So best.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for covering these verses, Prabhu. Really nice about Naradji's early life, his background, his story. The key points for me I noted were about the effects of devotee association. In Naradji's case, obviously he had the association of the great sages that his mother was serving. It's very mystical devotee association, very mystical, very magical how it works. It's like devotees are almost like touchstones. They're able to transform people and have such a positive influence just mere association of like of a pure devotee. And the analogy that was in one of the verses about being in that we're puppets of the Lord, that we're in the hands of the puppet master. So Krishna is ultimately the puppeteer, It just makes me remind myself that we're not the doer. We're only a vessel to do his will, and he's controlling our strings. And also a very nice point that you made around how Krishna, when he takes something, like in Naraji's case with his mother passing away, he always gives something in return. Yeah, and I just thinking about how amazing it is how Krishna intervenes with our life. You know, all it takes is a small amount of mercy or a small inclination to turn towards him, a slight bit of interest in him or his devotees, and you know, he facilitates so much change in our lives to bring us closer to him. So they were my reflections. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, thank you. Pundikaksh Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All the Srila Prabhupada. I mean, wonderful points, Prabhuji. The entire text. So some of the points which I picked up are like why initiation is very much important, because initiation is actually, as you mentioned, connected to disciple succession, wherein we are following in the footsteps of previous acharyas, not concatenating the knowledge again, but rather than just following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. So, and some people may ask question like, Vyasadeva is a plenary expansion of the Lord, then why he need an instruction from Narada Muni? But Krishna himself showed the importance of having and the Guru. So they took Vedic knowledge from Sandeep Muni, and Lord Ram from Vasishtha Muni. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took initiation from Ishwar Puri. So this shows that how important it is to have a spiritual master in your life. And because they are free from all mundane activities, they can actually impart you proper knowledge. And yesterday when we were reading this Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya past time, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said one point like, okay, if you're not understanding, at least you should inquire. So there are so many things in our life which we really do not understand, but if we inquire submissively and from a spiritual master who is in that line, then we can get all the answers for our questions. And yeah, I mean, Krishna, and the point you made about Krishna takes away things or he gives things. So today morning, actually, I was thinking, Prabhuji, why Krishna has given all the opulences to Sudama. So normally he takes away everything, but for Sudama case, he gave him so much. He made him a king actually. So I was just thinking about that today morning, and you mentioned about this, that because Krishna know what is required, and I was listening to one of the pastime where Yamaraj come running to Krishna and said like, I'm going to retire this job and I'm going to take retirement. He said, Krishna asked him what happened, and Yamaraj says that see, once you are here, no, nobody is actually coming to my abode. Everybody is directly going to Golok, and I'm free now. I don't have any job to do. And see what you have done in Sudama case. You have given all the opulences, but I can see his entire astrology, and there is no question of any opulences in his life. And then Krishna says, actually, there is one word, Kshaya Sri, and Krishna changed that to Yashasri. So Kshayasri is you're not having any opulences, but Krishna, because Sudama has given everything whatever he have, and Krishna gave him whatever he have to him. So that's how Krishna responds. Krishna responds to all the devotees when we are doing service with love and affection. Um, and and you mentioned reversals come. When reversals come, real consciousness will come out. Seriously, that I can see in myself, because I'm very calm. I talk very nicely to all the people unless they say something to me. But when they say something to me, I try to avoid the people as well. I mean, that shows that real consciousness is still not pure, and that will come only when you're actually under pressure, under say severe effects only. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Not a lot to say from me. Everybody has said all the lovely points. You know, I mean, for me, even in these few verses, there are so many learning points, so many points of realization, such as this wisdom is not just for the topmost, it is available to anybody, to the son of a maidservant. However, you have to be chosen by Krishna to receive or be the recipient of such wisdom. And it illustrates that Iskcon, as we see it, it's diverse. People are from all walks of life, from all sectors of the community, from all corners of the earth. And hence, this is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. And it also illustrates that the process of having a relationship with God is also formalized through the initiation process. You have a relationship with God, and God then has a relationship with you. And this is just a formal process. And the issue of the yagna, the burning of the bananas, the dispelling and the burning of the ego or the false ego is such an important event, because we're all covered by layers of false ego and maya. And so this should be an example that every time we are in front of the deities or in front of the fire, we should be trying to cleanse the burning and removing of the false ego. And yes, true, it is the mercy of Krishna that he will put us through such difficult, impenetrable situations, and you think, why me? And it is for our own betterment, because these things only occur to those who can cope with some of the trials and tribulations of life. He's a 5-year-old boy. He's lost his mother through being bitten by a snake. Prahlad had a father who was trying to kill him, and he did everything possible to annihilate his son. But because these two individuals had the mercy of the divine will never forget you. He will never forget his devotees. And so the Lord's mercy is forever with us. Accept all that is given to us, good and bad, bad and good, because this is all part of the wheel of life. Everything that happens for a reason. This is for our own journey towards that final reunion with divinity. We are here because we've chosen to stay in this prison and be in this world, but not of it, right? We have the keys of the Bhagavatam, the Gita, and the CC, and the association of them and the mercy of Krishna. The association of each other is the priceless key. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. And I was just thinking, Prahlad, he had the association of Narada Muni while he was still in the womb, and Dhruva, also a child, had the association of Narada Muni while he was in the jungle. So yeah, one was getting abused by the father, other one getting abused by the stepmother. They had Narada Muni either give him knowledge or support, whereas Narada Muni, he just had the sages. He didn't really have anyone to help him in his time of crisis. He was alone. Yeah, so he's amazing personality. Thank you, Prabhu. Puri Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class. Yes, like Prabhu said, so many messages. For me, it is again coming to faith and surrender. We just got to remember Krishna is on my side. We have to have that faith and surrender. Yes, I am on Krishna's side. And whatever happens in our life is mercy of Krishna. Whatever he gives us is his mercy. Whatever we don't get is protection by Krishna, because it's not good for us. Yes, I do get disturbed by certain situations in life. But again, at the same time, I'll say, yes, probably this is protection, you know, Krishna is protecting me from something bigger, you know, bigger thing. It is protection. It doesn't matter what I want to do this, but Krishna is protecting me. So we need to have that sort of faith and association of devotees, and that's, I think, that is what's keeping me going. And thank you so much to everyone. And that's what we learned from Narad Muni's story, association of devotees. That's what's, you know, gave him bhakti, and that's where he got to. And I can't remember. Yeah, Gauranatraj Das Prabhuji, he mentioned that, asked the question, what gives bhakti? So association of devotees. So I'm so grateful for that. And the other point was about the initiation. Yes, I keep getting this message, but at the same time, Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, they're not really showing me the door, which door to enter. So that still need to be shown. So I'm hoping that in one of these verses that will come as well. So, and whatever service we do, we have to do for the pleasure of Krishna, not for our pleasure, not to please someone else, but only for the pleasure of Krishna. And then I feel like if we're doing everything, then definitely Krishna will have His mercy and we'll connect one day. And because for me also, because to have initiation, I want to make sure that I am in a position to follow the instructions of the spiritual master wholeheartedly. So there are no obstacles in the way to make excuses. I can't do this because of this. But life is full of all these problems anyway. So I can just pray to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada to just guide and help. Yeah, and Krishna, we have to remember Krishna is our well-wisher. He does whatever is best for us. So, yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, important to have the desire for whatever it is you want. You have to desire, and Krishna is the desire tree. He fulfills that desire. Later, if not sooner, that desire does come true in the way he sees fit, not necessarily the way we see fit, but the desire does come true. So we must desire. Without desire, without the greed, we won't get anything. It's not always automatic. We have to have the desire in us to have that, that thing. So you have the right desires and have the desire. It's very important.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, because before I started speaking, I said, yeah, I have got the desire, but it's not happening. But then I remembered, like, going to Vrindavan, I was desiring for 4 years. And how it happened, I had to take ashes of my mother-in-law. So that's how we could go to Vrindavan. Otherwise, it was not going to be possible. So Krishna made the way, however way he made it. So yes, I have full faith. So it will happen. Yes, like you said, Prabhuji, yes.
Thank you, Mataji.
The desire will be there and is there. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rajrani, you want to say anything?
Hare Krishna, everyone. Yes, it's mercy of Lord which brings everything to us, whether it's bhakti, whether it's association, whether it is, our ability to get up in the morning, even to do, our daily activities. So Krishna's mercy is flowing everywhere, and it's coming from all the corners, whether it's for a karmi person or a devotee. For a devotee, it becomes so that devotee can see it as mercy. The karmi might be thinking that they have done it themselves, but when we become a devotee, we can see Krishna's hand in everything, and we understand that unless he sanctions, nothing is going to be coming into our life, good or bad. And like Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam says that if something has come to your life, even it seems big problem or a big what do we say, trouble, just think that it is only a little token. Krishna has protected you. That was going to come in a big way. So being humans, we do get worried when we see problems come into our lives, but as devotees now we understand that Krishna has protected us. The problem was going to be way too big. Krishna gave us only a little taste of that situation, which we even find difficult to understand or go through as persons. So yes, Krishna's hand is in everything in our life, and we just pray that Krishna keep us protected, keep us guided, keep us under your mercy, and keep us in the good association of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and the pure devotees all the time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much. Thank you all. This is going to be a short chapter. I think we'll have it finished in a week by next week or something. Well, not next week, the week after. And then we'll have a overview. Let's see how it goes. Because you can see the purports are mainly small purports. So I can go through it really quickly. So thank you all so much for your association. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you. See you on Monday.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.